Is this the beginning of the end for Mykhailo Mudryk? My friends, the FA have officially charged Mudryk over doping and he could face a ban up to the tune of 4 years. It's a very sensitive story. Let's have this conversation, but let's also get some of the details and facts right. So I don't even want to say I hope you guys enjoy the video. It just doesn't really make sense for this particular context. So I'm gonna get straight into things right now and let's have this conversation. Now, earlier this afternoon, Matt Law was reported to break this story. I'm going over to him right now. And as we've learned, Mudryk has been charged by the Football Association for doping offences, with the player now facing a potential lengthy ban. Now, if you guys are unaware, of course, Mudryk provided a positive A sample last year. This reportedly contained the banned substance meldonium, and since December 2024, he has been provisionally suspended, which means that he's not even allowed to train at the club or do anything football related. Today, the FA have now formally charged him after the B sample results came in, and all of us have been waiting for these particular B sample reports. Now, of course, meldonium is a banned substance under the UK anti-doping rules, and when you're testing positive for a substance like this, it can carry a maximum suspension, obviously up to the tune of 4 years. So he's not guaranteed to be out the game for that long, but of course it does mean that if the results are really bad, it could be that lengthy. Now, of course, the outcome is not confirmed right now. We have to understand that reality. It's not set in stone at the moment. The case is still ongoing, and Mudryk still to this day denies, unknowingly taking any banned substance. And to be honest, all of us, I think, kind of believe him, because it doesn't make any sense as to why he would put himself in such a precarious situation with how strict anti-doping is in the game. I mean, so many players have been hit with bans, right? There's no way that Mudryk was trying to game the system for what advantages? I mean, the guy is one of the fastest players in Europe. I don't think he needs any more advantages than that. Anyway, we know that at the moment he is working with Morgan Sports Law. They were the same firm that helped Paul Pogba get a reduced ban, as he also tested positive for doping. But I guess, if you guys want to get a bit of context behind what actually meldonium is, meldonium was used as like a heart medication. It was used to treat angina and improve blood flow. But it's also known to improve athletic performance naturally. It complements obviously boosting things like your endurance, reducing stress, and most importantly, helping you recover a lot faster. That's why it was banned in 2016. Maria Sharapova was actually the first athlete to get banned with this, and a few other Eastern European athletes over various sports have also been banned for testing positive for meldonium. Pogba himself also tested for meldonium, but this is where I think Mudryk will have maybe, a bit of optimism that his ban won't be as lengthy, because Pogba's ban was cut from the 4 years down to only 18 months right now. Now, if we go back to Mudryk's Instagram account, he did release his own official statement. And at the time, he was like, listen, I can confirm that I have been notified that a sample I provided to the FA contained a banned substance. But this has never come as a complete shock, as I have never knowingly used any banned substances or broken any rules, and I'm working closely with my team to investigate how this could have happened. I know that I have not done anything wrong, and I remain hopeful that I will be back on this pitch soon. He said that in December, and at the moment it's not looking too great for him currently right now, with the timeline recap being August negative tests. Of course, the A sample showed meldonium traits as well, getting provisionally suspended in December and now being officially charged by the FA. So you might be wondering, Nini, it's just bad news after bad news. Like, what happens right now? At the moment, it does look like it's still going to be reviewed under regulations 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations. If he's found guilty, of course, and no mitigating circumstances are accepted, obviously we know maximum ban. But if he can somehow prove that this was unintentional, or it was contaminated by some unfortunate circumstances, obviously it can be reduced significantly, you know, even under 2 years, hopefully even less than 18 months. And I'm not gonna lie, if it comes out that this was like a whole fugazi and a complete accident, it would be really, imagine like missing 18 months for nothing, basically. You're not gonna get that time back. It's gonna impact your career now, because you know what we're doing in the market now to replace you. Yeah, man, it's really, really, really unfortunate. So I don't think we can sit here and act like this is a career-ending moment for Mudryk at the moment, because it really isn't. Of course, the investigation must continue. Due process is very much important. We've seen lots of athletes come back from things like this, even though being out for a while frustrates you and it is really annoying. You could be cynical and be like, well, he did sign like a 9-year deal with us, so I don't know if there's like, you know, stipulations or, you know, clauses in that deal which protects the club financially if in case any player is like under distribute or anything like that. Fair enough, but you know what, there's a chance that he could come back from this and still make something of his career right now. But yeah, man, it's not ideal. It's not a great situation for him. And, you know, this is why I want to just talk as like a human being and talk as, you know, a fan of my club, because he plays for my club. So, you know, maybe I'm being basic, but I am going to have a bit of, you know, sympathy, like even more sympathy for him, to be honest with you, because he's had it quite hard since he's become our player. Things haven't gone his way. And having a situation like this at this time, when he was really starting to show those fleeting glimpses that, okay, was this or was last season potentially going to be that season for Mudryk to maybe start to showcase some of the potential that made us beat Arsenal to his signature. I feel like to really do justice to just sharing my thoughts and opinions, I want to just like play you guys something like Mudryk's best moments and clips right now. Let me just go straight to that. But we did invest a lot of money in his potential. You know, I always used to say that, in my opinion, Mudryk is like the equivalent of someone 2 years younger than his actual age, because he made his development quite late playing for Shakhtar. He was around 20 years old before he like officially broke in for them. You know, that can be the norm. Anthony Gordon, for example, he was another late bloomer at Everton because he had the technique, he had the skill, but physically he just wasn't there just yet. But now that he has that time and patience afforded to him, he's one of the most you know, impressive, dangerous wingers in the Premier League at the moment, right? I make this point because I think maybe the expectations around Mudryk were always unfair. Even, I'm just saying this myself, yeah. Come on, we remember that day when we just all of a sudden, I was in the gym working out. I had to run back when the news broke that we just beat Arsenal to the race to sign this guy out from nowhere. That was probably a similar situation for most of us at the time. And I think with all that expectation and hype, maybe it was probably difficult for him to live up to that. It was difficult for him to maybe get like a fair perspective from the fans that actually watch him. And I don't know, I always just personally felt like one of the main reasons behind the struggles Mudryk had was that he wasn't necessarily complete enough for us at the time. And this goes back to my point about maybe his footballing age being younger than his actual age. At Shakhtar, Mudryk was a high volume player where from every 10 actions he'll do 2-3 amazing things, 2 decent things, and the rest would be dispossessions, losing the ball, etc, etc. But at least their system protected those moments, and their system, of course, encouraged him to keep on trying, keep on being inventive, taking risks, taking chances. That's the elements in which you use a player like this. I could bring up examples to Vinny Jr. It took him until his 4th season before he really started to showcase his finishing prowess, and he was ready to be Real Madrid's next superstar. It takes a lot of time for this profile of player, yeah, where, listen, they excel in training sessions, they can do everything when the pressure isn't on them, but in an actual game, When the context is different, all eyes are on you, and there's missions to complete, yeah? Objectives to get done. This is where maybe if you don't give a player like him that confidence to try, to be expressive, to take risks, it can actually come at his detriment. I say this because, come on, he frustrated a lot of us at times. The dispossessions for fun. If there was one guy who probably hated him in the 22-23 season, it was probably Cucurella, who got left. Yeah, he suffered that season, but he had no protection from his left winger. Fair enough. But regardless of even that, yeah, I would always just think that maybe we could have given him that possibility to, express himself a little bit more. Or maybe we should have introduced him more as like a super sub to ease him in. Because I understand and respect that because he's signing for us, the expectations are higher. Where you can't always carry that type of passenger. But even then, you splashed out a ton of money. And there is like this alternate universe somewhere where, Mudryk continued his move and efforts to, go to Arsenal. He's played for them. He's competing against Martinelli. Is he now their first choice winger? And is he having is he a much better, stronger player for this in this alternate universe? Maybe. It wouldn't be a surprise. But I guess it's a shame. And I guess it's kind of ironic that, Mudryk isn't leaving Chelsea, and it's not left us yet. But he's not going out at the moment from a sale or going down a level or nothing like that. Like it's literally just circumstances again being against him, misfortune, things that you can't control really. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I'm not gonna lie, I do sympathize for him. I sympathize because it did feel like after all the trials and tribulations where, listen, he showed flashes of what he could do, like the goal against Newcastle. That's probably the best goal he scored for us. That great debut against Liverpool where he was fully fit, fresh, confident. Just come on, do your thing, make things happen. It's a shame that we didn't create the environment, in my opinion, to fully utilize the potential he had, because this is a guy that I think you have to kind of bank on over a few years. He was never going to come to the Prem, I guess, in hindsight, and instantly just own the league straight away. Not when you were doing your thing in Ukraine, where you have tons of space to play in, and the context of the football is just completely different. A part of me will always feel like we didn't maybe do enough to get the best out of him. It doesn't help when you have different systems, different tactics, X, Y, Z, different managers with different opinions on you. Fair enough. But I don't know, man. I think lessons probably could be learnt. And in the meantime now, it does seem like Mudryk is guaranteed to at least serve a bit of a suspension. Hopefully, it'll be a bit lenient if it's proven that, of course, there was no malicious intent behind him having this banned substance in his body. But I don't know, it'll be a case of what if, what could have been. And yeah, we have to take these lessons now. It's crazy, man. It really is crazy what's happened with him and just how his career is going out at the moment. Yeah, we're going to be in the market to sign replacements down his side. It's crazy that a club like us can splash that type of money on a Mudryk, but we can just eat that cost up for fun when misfortune comes our way, and still spend that money on other positions or on other players to come through like nothing, and it's not a big deal. That's just the nature of football at this level, right? But I don't know, man. You guys in the comments, give me some of your opinions. How are you feeling? What was like some of your favorite Mudryk moments? That's what I'm curious to know. Yeah, I really mean it. I do sympathize for the guy. It's just come at the complete wrong time. There was a cusp of something coming from him in those Europe Conference League performances where he was always assisting. It seemed like Maresca was challenging him the right way. He was responding to that in the manner in which, Maresca wanted to see. And then he gets hit with all this drama and these issues. And I guess we'll never know now what could have been. So there you have it, my friends. Mykhailo Mudryk is set to be charged by the FA. Let's hope for his case that it won't be as severe as long. And yeah, share your thoughts and opinions below in the comments. Catch you soon. Cool.